Okay, so in this video we're going to learn how to describe other people using Guernsey French. But before this, let's discuss how we say things like, what does this mean? Or what does that mean? Or how do I say that in Guernsey French? And other questions that learners of a language are liable to ask. So, some of the words we'll be using are chique.
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 Chique, which is what? And comme chique.
Comme chique.
Comme chique.
Comme chique, how? Chena.
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 Chena, which means that. Nous.
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 Nous means we. Dire or dit.
Dire or dit.
Dear. Di.
Dire or dit, that means to say, just two different versions of the verb to say. Verve.
Verb.
Ver.
Verve, which is want. And gymnasier.
Gernesier.
Gernesier.
Gymnasier, so that's how you say Guernsey French in gymnasier. So, comme tu que nous dit house en gymnasier?
Nous dit maison au Gernesier.
Comme tu que nous dit glace en gymnasier?
Nous dit verre au Gernesier.
Vok, tu que cela veut dire?
Chena veut dire cow.
And cho, tu que cela veut dire?
Chena veut dire dog.
So, things to point out are that mean is expressed by verve dire, which actually means wants to say. So, chi que cela veut dire literally means what does that want to say. And dire and dit are just two different versions of the verb to say. Now let's go on to discuss how we talk about other people. Okay, so this is just being a slight introduction here. So the words that we'll be using in the following are she.
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 She, which means it is. Govsin.
Garçon.
Garçon.
Govsin, which is boy. Feel.
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 Feel is girl. Form.
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 Form is woman. Aum.
Alm.
Alm.
Aum is man. So, nous avons une picture ici. Est-ce que c'est un garçon?
Wa, chez un garçon.
So there's another way of saying this. We could say, oui, il est un garçon. Yes, he is a boy. Est-ce que c'est une fille?
Oui, j'ai une fille.
We could also say, oui, elle est une fille. Est-ce que c'est une forme?
Oui, chez un form.
And est-ce que c'est un homme?
Oui, j'ai un homme.
We could also say, ouais, il est un homme. eisce amós.
Wa amós.
Eisce imós.
Nonai. Ipe.
So there's a few things to point out here. To say a boy, we use the word a, because the boy is a masculine word, and we use the word n for a girl or a woman, since this is a feminine word. Before aun, we also use n, but it sounds like the feminine form, but in fact it's just the form that's used before a vowel sound. Okay, so you basically got a for a masculine word, like a boy, n for a feminine word, like a girl or a woman, and also n, which sounds about the same, and it is more or less the same, and it's just used before a vowel sound, independent of whether it's masculine or feminine. And to say him, we say I, and to say her, we say a. Okay? So ibe or amós, but before a vowel sound we use il and al. That's because it's difficult to say ia or ae. It's much easier to say il a or ale. So this is a cultural chat about some of the different ways we express concepts in Guernsey French and in English. The first point is how we say to know. One word is sai, but there's another word for to know, which is connais, as in je connais mes voisins, I know my neighbours. The first means to know a fact, and the second means to know in the sense of be acquainted with a person. So we should not be surprised that a word in one language covers more than one meaning, but that in another, different words are used for the same for different meanings. So those of you who know some other languages may know about this example and others as well. It's not always obvious when sai and when connais should be used. As we've said, the first means to know a fact and the second to be acquainted with. But what if you want to say, I know the way? Do we say, je connais le chemin or je sais le chemin? Here, chemin means path in the sense of way. You might guess it's je sais le chemin, since you know a fact. But actually the correct form is je connais le chemin, presumably because you're acquainted with the path. Another example where English usage differs from Guernsey French and Standard French and many other languages is how we refer to someone's age. In English we say she is 10, but in Guernsey French we say she has 10. First uses the verb to be, you are 10 years old, but the second uses the verb to have and says you have 10 years. A third example is how we refer to the weather. So in Guernsey French the weather seems to have a will of its own, so we say il fait frais, for it is cold. But the literal translation is, it does cold. Fait is the word for does, and frais is the word for cold. We also say, il fait chaud, for it is hot. Here, chaud is hot, and we are again saying, it does hot. We also say, il fait bal, for it is fine. So there's many other examples. If it starts to rain, we do not say it has started to rain, but it has put itself to rain. Again, giving weather a life of its own. Eet uit, Joe.
Is out, Joe.